Alright, so another super helpful way to use our foam roller to start opening up the middle of our back. Turning the foam roller widthwise, okay, we're going to use it to just do some extension work over the back of the foam rollers, trying to encourage our rib cage to open up a little bit, chest open up, maybe stretch out the front half of our abdomen. It can be a little bit intense for some of your backs. Foam rollers might not be the best thing for you. Try and start with something a bit softer, a bit squishier. We often use bigger over balls, or softy balls they're called. You can use big Swiss balls, they're also quite nice. If you haven't got any of that, grab some pillows, big bed pillows, pump them up a little bit so that you've got a nice bit of a lift, and then you just follow these same instructions. They'll look after you, okay? So, foam roller, or equivalent, is going to sit across the middle of your back, okay? A really nice reference point to start with is around the bra strap level. Most people know where that is who are doing these sorts of sessions, so if you haven't, then it's basically around the lower 2/3 mark of your rib cage, okay? So the bottom few ribs are just going to be hanging out in space. Foam roller is going to rest into that area. Hands to the back of your head. Now, we do want your head and your hands pushing against each other a little bit. Okay, that creates a little bit of tension, a little bit of support for your neck. Okay, actually having the muscles active will stabilize the neck so it's not going to fall into an uncomfortable position. We also want to set the shoulder blades up really nicely. Okay, so press the head and the hands together, pinch your shoulder blades together. This creates a reference point of where we don't want to be. Okay, we're going to go as far away the other way as we can. We're actually going to push your shoulder blades out really, really wide, and that just opens up the middle of your back to do the extension work. Okay, so head and hands gently pressing together, elbows pushing out wide. Using your breath in, you're going to let your head and shoulders just gently drop back over the foam roller. Now for the first one, I recommend just going until you feel a gentle stretch. Okay, hold that for a few moments while you finish your breath in. And then as you use your breath out, still gently pressing your head backwards into your hands, really thinking about your stomach pulling in and your rib cage will be closing down, all the little ribs just narrowing to help curl your head and shoulders up until you feel a little bit of a tremor in your stomach, okay? And that tremor is a good sign that you're in a position where your stomach's like, oh, I have to do a little bit of work here. Fantastic, okay? So again, support your head, elbows wide, breathing in. Let the rib cage open up. You might go a little bit further this time, still with the elbows nice and wide. And again, deep breath out, using your belly button, sucking in, curling your head and shoulders up nice and high. Good. Let's just do one more here. Deep breath in, each time going that a little bit further until you feel some pretty obvious stretches through your upper back. And again, deep breath out, curling head and shoulders up nice and high. Now I usually say about 3 or 5 at one point, and then you can move the foam roller up or down. But something else I really recommend adding in is a bit of a hip roll. Just trying to get your back into a position where it's under a little bit of a stretch, and then rotating the lower spine and the associated structures can be a really nice stretch for you. So we'll start this time with the feet and the legs together. Lean your head and shoulders back until you feel a gentle stretch, about a 5 out of 10 in terms of intensity. Now keep your feet and legs together, tip both feet over to one side. Now I'm trying to keep my head and my chest facing up towards the ceiling. The temptation will be for you to roll completely onto your side. It's not a bad exercise, it's just not one that we're going to do right now. Okay, so use your elbow on the floor to help keep your chest facing up towards the ceiling. When you're there, you then may find that actually you can let your head and shoulders drop back, so another level of stretch. You may find also that bending sideways can be quite nice for your back as well. Okay, there's no set rules. You have a little play, see what feels good for you. When you're ready, you're then going to roll the legs back up as you curl the head and shoulders up at similar times. If the coordination doesn't work, do one and then the other, as long as your back feels comfortable. Okay, then we're going to do the same going the other way. Okay, so again, let your head and shoulders drop back first until you find a gentle stretch. Okay, that's going to be your kind of anchor or your reference point to start with. Then you let your legs drop over to one side. Once you've got to get a nice stretch, then you're welcome to again let your head and shoulders drop back. Use your elbow on the floor as a bit of an anchor to make sure your chest stays facing the ceiling. And again, you may find bending sideways or bending the other way adds to your stretch. Whatever feels good for you. When you're ready to come up, legs, head and shoulders come up. Hopefully you should feel a little bit of release. Now you can do a couple of those each way, each time. And that's not the only way you can do it. You can also have your legs out nice and wide, okay? And that can be a really nice stretch for your legs as you're going side to side, open up different structures. And then you're welcome to move the foam roller up or down your back. Try and stay on the rib cage. I wouldn't go any lower than that bottom of your ribs, okay? Once you start getting into your lower spine, you haven't got the width of the rib cage to support you. It can feel quite uncomfortable. You may also find that as you work your way up, that once you get around the shoulder blade level and higher, that actually you haven't got a whole lot of space left to move. And once you're getting up around your neck, it's kind of going to defeat the purpose a little bit. So I wouldn't worry too much about trying to do this on your neck. All right. But the other thing I would recommend you do is to try and open up the sides of your armpits. So I'm going to get you to now take your foam roller or equivalent, whatever you've got at home, and you're going to lie on your side with that pressing into the sides of your armpit, okay? Have one hand supporting your head. I do like the other hand there as well to kind of lock your shoulders into a good position. Again, try and keep your elbows wide. You can see me as a relaxed position, just slouching into it versus a nice wide position there, trying to broaden my back. It'll help again with what we're going to massage. Knees stay pulled up towards your chest to give your hips a good, nice, relaxed position. And then you're going to start by rolling forward, seeing if there's any tender spots in front of you, and then slowly rolling back. As you're rolling back, again, you may find that you start to feel a few tender spots along the way. Try and pause on any of those tender spots. Again, take a breath or two into it, trying to open up the rib cage. And then that may be enough for it to relax and you can go further, or you may just need to come back to it. Okay? And I would usually say 3 or 5 movements again, forward and back. And then you can slide the foam roller down a little bit more into the middle of the rib cage, okay, and do the same thing. Try your best to only do the armpit and a little bit lower. The lower third of your rib cage is going to be very uncomfortable. Particularly, I would not recommend doing this if you have osteopenia or if you're osteoporotic, okay? It's just going to put a whole lot of stress into your rib cage and can quite often cause discomfort and fractures in worst case scenarios. But definitely anyone else, just do the top 2/3. You can do the lower third if you're full health, no issues with your bones, but you're not going to get a whole lot out of it. So I wouldn't necessarily make you do it if you're in a session with me. But other than that, have a nice crack at it and try and put the two together. And also try and team this up with some other exercises to help relieve tension for your neck and shoulders. And if there's any other requests, send them through. We'll keep putting together some videos for you.